In a year with high highs and mediocre mediocres, there were also the lowest of the lows. So for this very special two-part episode, we will be exploring first the worst of the worst, the shit de la shit, the worst movies of 2021, with each of us giving our own top 5 list and our dishonorable mentions. You ready, buddy?
Yeah. I'm even though I crafted it like at the last minute, I'm really happy with my list, and I like shitting on these movies will just put a smile on my face. Except for one movie, I'm pretty sure that just talking about that movie, I'll get really happy, and then I'll get really pissed at number one. I'm just teasing it. Number one will piss me off, and I might get super pissed off.
Yeah, I might start raging by number one too, to be honest. But I mean,
just looking at number one, I'm just preparing for that
saying?
confrontation. Just looking at number one on my list over here, I'm ready for a confrontation.
You're feeling the heat.
Yeah, I'm feeling the heat. I had to sit through this movie 2 times. I gave it a second chance. It's gonna be fun.
Okay, well, let's go. Hello, and welcome to this two-part episode of The Movie Buffs, also known as Best and Worst of 2021. I'm your host, Mansoor.
And I'm Yurka, and today we're looking at our personal worst experiences with movies in 2021. Yes.
Disclaimer, before we begin. Although for all of you at home may think that these movies are better than they actually are, or worse, or anything, or you may want to add more to the list, these are our own personal opinions.
Exactly.
Don't let someone on the internet influence your own opinion, or piss you off for that matter. I mean, I know it's the internet, but come on. We're just here to have a good time and express how we feel about these movies, so...
All right. I mean, I'm ready to go with my list, but prior to that, I just want to give 2 kind of dishonorable mentions. These are 2 movies that I actually enjoyed this year, but they're both sequels and from franchises that I actually like. Personally, there's a lot of people that hate both these franchises, but I personally love them, and I was just disappointed in what I was given. The first one I want to give a dishonorable mention to
is exactly which one you're gonna say. I have a feeling.
You're not. You don't know. The first one is Venom: Let There Be Carnage.
I knew that was gonna be on there.
Oh, okay.
No. Even though we didn't discuss it, I still felt it. I
knew
felt
the vibe.
Yeah, I felt the vibe. Yeah.
I still like the dynamic between Eddie Brock and Venom. Tom Hardy is amazing. I like the performance of all the actors there, but just the story was just super, cut down, and they completely ruined Carnage, it was just a waste of time, and it should have been way better. Even though I enjoyed it overall, I would give it a 6 out of 10, but still a big letdown for me because I really liked the first Venom movie, and I love the dynamic between Eddie Brock and Venom, and the second movie that I'm putting on this list is something I would give a 7, which is super weird, but it's The King's Man, sadly.
You watched it? I haven't seen it yet.
I won't give any spoilers. I watched the movie, and sadly I must say I was a little disappointed. If you view it as its own thing, it might be better, but if you view it as a Kingsman film, it just lacks in some parts. And there also is a completely idiotic decision regarding the bad guys in the movie. I won't say what it is, but there's a completely stupid decision. So I'll leave it at that. I still liked it. The story is very good. The second act actually is amazing, but the just parts are just I was disappointed, especially because I really love The Kingsman. The actions,
the movies themselves so far have just been so fucking good. I'm surprised to hear you say this actually. So.
Yeah, I'm disappointing in myself in saying this.
Okay, well, I mean, honestly, I didn't have much high expectations for many movies this year. I'd say my only dishonorable mention for this year would be Black Widow. It's not a
understandable.
Yeah, no, no, no. It's not a bad movie by any means. It's just that it was just so thrown together, even though, like, there was so much potential behind it.
Yeah.
So, like, the fact that it just cliff dived in the third act, and especially how it cliff
The
dived with the villain,
CGI.
and
The
cliff dived
CGI.
with the CGI, and cliff dived,
Yeah.
like, with the editing, it just. Oh my god, like, I was.
The first two acts are like legit a pretty good movie. It's just
Yeah,
the
no,
third act
no.
that really brings it down.
The first two acts were a good movie. I love I love the performance of Florence Pugh. Like she did a fucking terrific job.
Yeah.
But Scarlett Johansson in this movie was just so wooden.
I mean, she works as a like a B character, but she also kind of was a B character in her own movie, which was like
Yeah,
weird,
but
or like that's how it felt to me.
yeah, but like you gotta understand, even as a side character in every other Avenger or Marvel movie ever made, she had way more character and was more three dimensional. For some reason, in her own standalone movie, for the first time and only time, she's so two dimensional. For
Yeah.
some reason. So yeah, that was my
It was
dishonorable
disappointing.
mention.
Yep.
Yeah.
So number, who do you want to go first, or should I go first?
Go ahead, man.
All right, my number 5. I was crafting this list, pretty recently, and so this is a fresh off the top, and I found a perfect movie for my number 5, Spiral, from the Book of Saw. Super.
That's your number
super-
5?
That's my
That's
number
your
5.
number 5.
That's my number 5. Spiral from the Book of Saw. What a terrible, terrible, terrible movie. Honestly.
I'm surprised you didn't have it lower.
Like, I was disappointed, and it just kept getting so much worse. Like, it felt the pacing was off, the villain was weird, the main character was weird. Like, everything just felt off. It was trying to be Saw, but it also was trying to differentiate itself from Saw. I don't know what it was. Like, it was by far the worst Saw movie ever made. I don't know. They should. I'm not. I would like to see another just Saw movie, but like this was just straight up terrible. Like cut everything with Chris Rock. Say thank you for doing your donkey Shrek laugh, and now leave. We'll do our own thing.
Well, honestly, I'm surprised it's that high on your list. It is way lower on my list. Holy shit.
I found some movies
So-
that I found way worse. So
Oh,
go ahead. What's your number
seriously?
5?
Okay. My number 5 is a little
wait,
movie.
so let's go. Do you want to say like the scores that you would give, or do you just want to say it was terrible?
I mean, okay, so no, you go ahead with Spiral because mine's much farther down the list, so I'll just give my score later then.
Okay, sure.
So you give your score for Spiral.
Spiral is like a free, man. Like I watched it again one more time. I had it as a 4 like initially, but it just got worse. It's a free.
Same for me. I rewatched it and it just got worse on the second time. I don't know why I put myself through that torture, but I'll explain everything when I
Literally,
get to it.
literal torture.
Yeah, it is. Like
Look,
it's a movie
it-
about
it-
torture that ironically tortures you through the torture.
It tortures you more than the tortures in the movie.
Exactly.
All right, go ahead. You're number 5.
All right, my number 5 is a little movie that I don't think you've heard of or known, but I had the displeasure of watching, and that movie is Willy's Wonderland, starring Nicolas Cage.
I saw it, dude. Honestly, I know that movie's terrible, but I had so much fun with it.
I had so much fun with it too. That's why it's my number 5, because it's a vicious struggle of how terrible the movie is, but at the same time, you can't just help but love Nicolas Cage in the movie. Like, it's the most Nicolas Cage cage.
Yeah.
Like, one of the most Nicolas Caging of Nicolas Cage.
I was actually considering, honoring this movie in like the better list because I really had just so much fun with this movie. But it's really that bad. Like just the production
It's fucking
quality.
terrible.
Like
It's
it's
fucking
terrible. But you have to love it. Like it's like better than Sharknado. Like it's practical. It's like Sharknado with practical effects.
With decent practical effects, but the
Yeah.
problem is that like the only good part of this movie is just
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage going insane. Like that's the
Yeah.
only good thing you can say about it.
Yeah. Essentially.
Honestly.
But for me, like
uh,
I can't put it on my worst list because I really had fun with it. Like this movie, I had zero expectations when I just watched the start. Like it was like, oh my god, this looks terrible. But as it continued, I was just laughing because the movie was super super self aware. Like it knew how bad it was, and the movie had fun. You had fun. I hope they make another one. I don't care.
Even though it's just an hour and a half, or like how long? It wasn't even an hour and a half. It was like an hour and 25 minutes
I
of
don't
just
know.
Nicolas Cage going berserk, like just
But
fucking
it's a
shit
great
up.
movie, man. Yeah.
No, like because I love it, but I hate it. Like I
Yeah,
just.
yeah.
Ugh.
The filmmaker in you hates it. I understand it. I understand. Like the filmmaking is
And the
questionable.
filmmaking is not quite. It's fucking horrendous.
Very
like nothing compared to what the next four that are upcoming. But still, ugh. Anyways, number 4.
I know. I mean, honestly, I would give Willy's Wonderland a 5. I know how terrible it is, but otherwise I had fun with it, so I'll give it a 5.
As I said, 4. Like.
Perfect, man. I understand it, dude. Like filmmaking, it's a talent to make a movie in 2020 look like it was made like in the early 2000s.
You mean 2021?
2020s. I wanted to say 2020s. That's what I wanted to say. Sorry.
Yeah, 2020s. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, because like it looked like, because the thing is, it looked like the same kind of movies he starred in his like 20s,
Exactly.
like, late 20s and early 30s.
Those look way better.
Yeah, somehow Vampire's Kiss looks better than this movie.
Yeah. All right. I'll go ahead with. Do you want to go with number 4, or should I continue with number 4?
You go with number 4.
All right, man. My number 4 is a movie that you've 100% seen, and a majority of people watching this have probably seen, and it's a big franchise. Again, I was disappointed by this, and I know that you know what it is.
I know what it is.
And I love this franchise so much, but this movie was just straight up terrible. Fast and Furious 9. Okay, I'll
Right
say
there,
this.
baby. Mm-hmm.
Exactly, right? It's time to die. Honestly,
It's
time to die.
time to die.
Time to die.
Fast and Furious 10. Time to die.
Yeah.
It's not ride or die. It's
James
just
Bond
fucking
edition.
time to die. James Bond edition. Yeah.
So I think the Fast and Furious creators kind of interpreted the fans in the wrong way. The fans were making fun. What are they gonna do next? Go to space? And I guess the writers were like, or like the creators, they were like, oh, they want us to go to space. But no, that was like that was the fans begging, like, chill out, make it more grounded. That's what we liked more, like Fast 5, Fast 6. These were the best movies. 7 and 8 are a bit too over the top, but I still enjoyed them. And I think they understood it in the wrong way and just went super bonkers, super crazy.
They
Zero
started
attention
cliff
to
diving. They
Yeah.
started cliff diving from 6. 6 had a lot of good in it, but the problem was, like, as soon as you just see one car jumping from one skyscraper to the other, you're like, slow the fuck down.
I know,
You
but,
saw-
but I still liked
Yeah.
like the pacing. I think worked in 7, 8, and Hobbs and Shaw as well. Like Hobbs and Shaw is even crazier, but it's super self-aware, kind of in a Dwayne Johnson.
No, because it's
way.
Dwayne Johnson
Yeah.
and Jason
Statham,
Statham. So
yeah.
like, if you put two of them in a movie, like, it doesn't even feel like a Fast and Furious movie. It just
Exactly.
feels like a Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham movie.
buddy cop
So
movie,
like that's
which was
what
great.
exactly. Well, that's why it worked so well. But like,
But even like
This-
7 and 8, they were bonkers. But like not even the story, but the pacing worked. All the characters kind of they're like subplots. They all made sense.
you could
The
suspend
characters were true to them.
disbelief.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
could suspend disbelief.
But this movie
with
just, like-
7 and
Yeah.
borderline on 8, but 9 it just.
Perfect. That was like the perfect audio for this. I love it. Thank you, Mons. It's like just with the sheer disappointment. This
It's like a
9 gets
penny
it.
dropping off the Himalayan mountains. Like, it's gone. You can't
Yeah.
fucking see it anymore.
Well, and now to make matters worse, you saw all the like Vin Diesel begging posts of you trying to get Dwayne Johnson back, right?
Oh, yeah.
How fucking pity. This movie is like a fucking, I don't know, 2.5 out of 10. It's terrible. I don't ever want to watch it again because I watched it a second time, trying to believe that it was way better than what I anticipated or thought. It was, again, way worse. Please, fucking, I don't know, get better writers. I don't know, just... The biggest problem is, I think, Vin Diesel, because he just became a meme. Like, he really just like, family.
One of my favorite ones is... Have you seen those memes? The one that's like, please, Doc, please, I can't disappoint my family. It's like, family? Oh my god, it's Vin Diesel. There's nothing more important than family. Have you seen those?
I like, they're everywhere. And, like, the writers know it, and they just...
God.
He was a character until, like, even in 8, because he had his own, like, unique arc. So in 8, they kind of get, you know, since he was isolated and had his own story. No, but in 8 he was isolated, and he actually had a story, because he kind of was, you know, the villain, but he had a family that he had to protect. So that was his own arc. But in 9 he just has zero arc. So
No. He has a brother, and his brother's name is John Cena.
John Cena's acting is solid, but the way his character is written,
it's
decent. Yeah, it's decent. But the way it's like written, it's fucking stupid. I don't know. 2.5 out of 10. Let's move on. I don't want to think of this movie anymore, unless it's on your list.
It is not on my list. It is nowhere on my list because, like, thing is, the movies that I have on here genuinely pissed the fuck out of me. At least with 9, I cringed and laughed and was meme-worthy. But my number 4... honestly had to go to the movie Music, the movie that was made by Sia. Cause
I heard of that. I didn't watch it.
Do not watch it. Do not watch it. Because as someone who is actually neurodivergent, this movie pissed me the fuck off. Because it's not only about the production, it's not only about the writing, it's not only about everything, it's just how it treats neurodivergent people. Like, it is so fucking disrespectful and distasteful, it's actually disgusting. On the side of filmmaking, it's you can't do much about that, but holy fucking shit, I want to punch the director and writer. Like, it's just that fucking bad. Like, it genuinely pissed the shit out of me, but... That's
just shows you that poor filmmaking beats, bad writing. Where poor filmmaking in Willy's Wonderland is at number 5, and then poor writing. Exactly.
Because, like, it's not only bad writing; it's bad writing and probably terrible representation of like a type of person. So, like, like representation of autistic people. It's insulting. It's fucking disgusting. Like. Ugh, I can't. But anyways,
I haven't watched this movie,
3.5.
but
3.5. Don't watch it.
Don't worry, I won't watch it. Okay, let's move on. Number 3.
I love how you were like, eek, I do not want to touch that any further. Let's go. Anyways, number 3, go.
Number 3. I'm not sure if you watched this movie. Last year there was an anime that came out called Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge.
Yes.
That movie was very, very good and made me excited for the Mortal Kombat movie. But there was a sequel that came out this year, Mortal Kombat Legends Battle of the Realms. Yeah. Oh, how disappointed I was. That was terrible. Like,
considering the first one was actually really fucking good.
Yeah, exactly. Scorpion was amazing as a lead, and they made, all the sub characters from like Sonya, Johnny Cage, Raiden was great, Liu Kang, all these, everyone got their time, but Scorpion was the one at the lead. The fatalities were, amazing. The voice acting was great. You were really into it. You could feel the Scorpion's rage. But here, kind of, Scorpion takes a back seat, and I think that's like where the movie is hurt. And they try to cram 2 movies into one. Out of nowhere, like, you feel like this movie is the actual Mortal Kombat tournament.
Yep.
But then out of nowhere, one army attacks. That's defeated. but then some other kaiju thing or whatever attacks, and Liu Kang somehow turns into a fucking dragon. And at that point in the film, I realized how lost I am, how disappointed I am, that I don't know what the fuck they were thinking making this. Like, we're making a Mortal Kombat film. How about we make Liu Kang a dragon? That's what people want to see, right? Yeah.
This isn't scaly porn. We're not just gonna turn anyone we think fit into a fucking dragon.
I don't know. Like, and the writing was so bad. Like, the pacing was because they kept cutting away. They tried to give like Scorpion his own subplot, and they kept cutting away from the actual Mortal Kombat tournament. So that made the Scorpion's plotline seem very like underwhelming. But also, Scorpion is the best character because they don't know how to do anyone else, which we've seen. I was disappointed by that movie. Like, I don't know, and I'm still mad at Mortal Kombat because it's yet to come. 2 out of 10.
Fair enough. I've watched it, although I've honestly completely fucking forgot about it till you mentioned it. Not gonna lie.
Forgot about it T-1 day.
Yeah, no, literally, like, it was so bad, I kind of just had to delete it out of my memory.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. You should. I should too, but I couldn't. I'm still disappointed. Let's move on. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It.
I actually haven't watched that. So,
Don't.
Go ahead.
There is nothing more... Like, to me, I'm a very hard person to bore. I'm the kind of guy that could literally watch paint dry and find something artistic in this. Somehow, this movie was more boring and even worse paced than fucking paint drying. Do you understand how fucking bad a movie has to be for it to be worse than fucking paint drying?
That's tough. Like, it depends on which filmmaker you ask. Like, Fast and Furious movies are like on that level now. So
no, like, it was so fucking boring. It took the oomph out of the original series. Say what you want about the spin-offs, they're terrible, but at least, like, they give you that little jolt, that little shock, that little, like, thing that all moviegoers want to see. But, like, everyone will agree with me when I say this movie was just fucking boring. It took the most time and the most, like, irrelevant places. It didn't allow there to be good pacing during, like, the courtroom scenes, and, like, they only spend maybe, I shit you not, 10 to 15 minutes out of the entire movie exploring the actual haunting and possession.
Was that still James Wan?
No, it wasn't James Wan.
That explains a lot.
Mm-hmm. If it was James Wan, I would have been so fucking shocked, but no, it wasn't James Wan.
Like, see, James Wan, like, even, like, a mediocre horror film that looks to be, like, he finds something cool with Malignant, let's say. So, yeah. I mean, if it's that boring, like, you could tell it's probably not James Wan. Because, like, that filmmaker's, like, he has some brilliant, cool ideas. Even though, like, overall the movie isn't the best, per se. Like, there's at least concepts that are great, yeah.
You can like still you can still find, like, the silver linings in the cloud with most of his work. No matter how terrible or how bad you may think it might be, like, his work will never be bad per se. Like, you'll always find something decent or even good out of it. Like, even if it is a couple ideas here or there. So, yeah, no, this this movie just fucking sucked. It was so boring.
Yep.
Okay, number 2. Shoot.
Number 2. This is kind of an unfair judgment by me, because it's a movie that I actually just watched once, and not even once, because I didn't finish it, because of how bad it was. But, like, I didn't see the third act. I was, like, tempted, but it was just so bad that I just turned it off. And, like, a lot of times I was thinking, should I go back to it? And I just couldn't, because I'm just not brave enough, and that's Thunder Force. That movie was straight up terrible. I was kind of, I won't say excited for it, but I thought it could be just fun, like a little, it's on Netflix. You have the subscription.
Yeah.
Every movie that's there, like you're kind of like, yeah, sure, I'll check it out. It doesn't kill you. You're not paying any additional fee to go watch it.
No.
So
Yeah.
you're always like kind of more lenient towards Netflix films.
Yeah.
So I watched this film, and it stars like okay, two ladies, kind of, they're kind of not your typical superheroes. Get some superhero powers. There's some other super villains there that they're gonna take down, but I know like it wasn't a great movie, and then at a certain point, Jason Bateman he shows up with his crab arms.
Yeah.
And the movie acts normal. Like it's not like it's over the top comedy. Like it serious. I think they were like, yeah, it's gonna be fun, but it's not gonna be super over the top. And like I don't know. At that point, I was like, oh, so it's this kind of a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was just super all over the place. That's something you would expect, like in the scary movies.
Yeah,
that's like what Jason Bateman turning up with crab arms, but like
them playing it off as if it was nothing. Yeah, I get what you mean.
I don't know. It was super weird. I don't know. This movie was just so bad. The part that I watched, like the acting was terrible. There's even the actress. Palm, whatever, I don't know her last name, from Guardians of the Galaxy. She plays like the lead supervillain. I don't know. This movie is so bad. I don't want to watch the third act. I don't know what happens. Don't tell me what happens. I'm getting a 1 out of 10 just because I don't want to watch it again. I won't even finish the movie.
Really?
Which rarely.
It's
really,
a 1?
I'm someone who likes to finish movies just so I know like how bad it could get potentially, but I don't have the energy and mental capacity to finish this hellfest. Like 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10.
Okay.
And it could get worse than 1 out of 10. Believe me, at number 1.
Okay. Well, okay, so my number 2, and again, it's also, I agree with you, it's a movie that I've seen but never finished. It's the Tom and Jerry movie.
It wasn't great, but I honestly liked it more than a couple of other people did. I think for kids, it's fine. It's a terrible movie, of course. Like, the acting there isn't great.
I mean, it committed two sins for me. It was just that it took the most important titular characters of the movie and barely didn't include them in the movie at all. Like, what do you get out of Tom and Jerry in that movie? Yeah, like, you maybe got 30 or 45 minutes out of them, and they're supposed to be the main fucking characters, and it was boring. Oh my god, like...
Yeah. I thought we were in the third act, but that was, like, the end of the second act. Like, it stretched out super long. That was something I was like, wait, really? We're still going?
I couldn't get through the first... I got through 55 minutes, then I turned it off. Like, by that point, I was like, fuck this, I can't. And I just... click.
I guess you could say that I also didn't finish it, because I kind of zoned out in the third act, because I thought that we're done. But I was like, oh, really? We're not done. And I just went on my phone. I was on my phone, and I didn't pay attention. Oh, now it's done. Okay, so now I can turn off the TV. So I was still, like, kind of paying attention. But, yeah, that was a terrible movie. But honestly, like some parts were okay. I don't know. For me, it wasn't as bad as any of these movies. Like, Spiral for me was way worse than Tom and Jerry. Even though, like, Tom and Jerry could get a worse rating, like, Spiral just fucking pissed me off.
Wait for it.
Oh, yeah. I see.
Wait for it. But honestly, yeah, no. Because the thing is, for me, in order for a movie to be a 1, like, the two lowest scores I can ever give to a movie is a 3 or a 2. A 1 is just so fucking bad you can't help but laugh. This movie was not only bad. It was boring. It was just... You took the biggest part that is marketed out of the movie and the biggest part that everyone expects and shaved it down in half. Like... It's not even a Tom and Jerry movie. It's just Tom and Jerry shafted.
Yeah.
So, fuck it. That's why I'm saying I'm giving it a 2.5. Which is like the second lowest score I can give. Other than something that is so terrible that it's fucking hilarious. So, let's move on to number 1.
Number 1.
Yeah.
And I'm about to get really, really pissed off.
Oh.
Because this movie...
Mm-hmm.
was my most anticipated movie of 2021. As someone who fucking loves the video games, as someone who loved the trailer, as someone who was ready for some amazing martial arts and bloody fatalities.
May I?
I could be me.
May I?
Go ahead.
Mortal Kombat!
That's it, man. I was so pissed. About this movie.
Yeah.
While I was watching it, I was super biased. Because I kept giving this movie in the movie theater while I was watching this. I came in, I was like super gloomed. I was like, imagine the time like you walk into your first screening of Spider-Man No Way Home. You're excited. You're like super anticipated of seeing all the villains and all the people being portrayed. So that's how I'm like super excited. I was like, the fight between Scorpion and Sub-Zero, pretty fun, good. Now let's go, because that's what's something they released online. So I was like, yeah, looks good. CGI blood, but it's still like the martial arts was good. The fighting was good. Movie starts, and it progressively just got worse and worse. And it was like, I was like, okay, kind of weird. Okay, why would you? That's bad. And then came the first actual fight. Jax versus Sub-Zero. And in a Mortal Kombat film, a fucking martial arts, what's supposed to be a martial arts masterpiece, where they're supposed to pay attention to the martial arts, the fights, make the choreography work. They did close-up shaky cam shit in a Mortal Kombat film. How the fuck do you explain that? I don't care who the director is, who the producer is. Someone came to a table at a meeting and said, we're gonna do close-up shaky cams for a Mortal Kombat film. And not only does that person deserve to get fired, that person deserves to fucking die. I know it sounds harsh, but whoever watched any of the Mortal Kombat games, played any of the Mortal Kombat games, and then come to the table and be like, hey, guys, we're gonna do shaky cams close-ups for the Mortal Kombat film. How do you like that idea? Fucking. The acting also is pretty terrible for most parts. I will give a couple of shout-outs. Hiroyuki Sanada was pretty good.
Oh, Hiroyuki Sanada did a fucking amazing
with the 2
job.
minutes that he was given and his random English lessons that he was given.
That was actually
in
good.
hell.
Yeah.
And also Joe Taslim was pretty solid as Sub-Zero. The one person who like kept me actually watching and the standout performance was Josh Lawson as Kano.
Yeah.
Like all the Kano jokes were actually mad funny. He looked like he was from a completely different movie. He was actually very, very good. And so, like something that made me survive the movie, because otherwise I would really just want to like tear my eyes out at the fucking. I don't know. I felt like the movie was fucking like making fun of all the Mortal Kombat films. They were like, you will like this? Imagine like torture, like seeing your family being tortured, and you have to like you're forced to watch it. Like this was torture for all the Mortal Kombat films, because like also like apart from the fights, there's one good fatality. Where Kung Lao kind of like suit like with the hat, you know, that was awesome. But then like there's a certain level of, you know, what Mortal Kombat fans expect as a fatality.
Yep.
Like you would expect like someone gets their head clapped off. That should be awesome. Not for a Mortal Kombat film. For a Mortal Kombat film, that's like basic. Like you gotta be more creative. Like is that
you gotta
really the
be
best,
able to have Scorpio wrap his hook hat around someone's throat and then using that just pulls them back and then punches them so hard that you see their head explode as a minimum. As a fucking minimum for a Mortal Kombat movie.
Mortal Kombat is unnecessarily over the top. Like they killed the like there's a dead body and they're still like stabbing it, and that's the fun of Mortal Kombat. But that like the fatalities, I guess they would get a pass, but like it's at the end of a super underwhelming fight where they're like the last fight scene that I personally shot was 100% better than some of the fight scenes here in the Mortal Kombat film. Don't tell me.
I think honestly,
care.
honestly, the fight scene that we shot for a bad grade had better fucking choreography than this movie.
Yeah. That was like a terrible. That was our first film at university.
That was like
you
our
could check
first
out at
co-op
CV films.
film.
I don't
yeah.
recommend it.
I mean,
It's a terrible film.
It's not.
It's like Mortal Kombat level bad, but the fights, like, honestly, might be better than
actual Mortal Kombat. Yeah,
film.
exactly.
Like, honestly, I don't care if the actors didn't know how to fight. Like, some of the, like, of course, Hiroki Sanada and all these other guys like Joe Taslim, they're martial artists. You have martial artists there. They of course know how to fight. For some of the other guys, like Jax, I don't know. Jax was actually pretty solid, the actor. But like, if they don't know how to fight, you still can.
I mean, isn't the entire idea of the movie supposed to be an MMA tournament?
Yeah. Also, regarding the actual story, not to just brag on the fight scenes and stuff, that Mortal Kombat is about. There's a tournament being hosted with the best fighters who fight to protect their realm.
Yes.
There's a couple of things that Mortal Kombat needs to get right. For one, you have so many characters. Don't introduce a new character to be the lead, who will just be super, super boring and basic. Like, he had, like, no character development. He randomly is like, I'm sorry. And he leaves to put his family in danger, even though he came with Raiden to protect his family. But he's like, sorry. Leaves back to his family. They should have been instantly killed, but they somehow survived. Like, the R rating in this film is like, this is the most PG-13 R rating I've ever seen. Someone gets smashed by the stone, someone lifts it up, and they're like, okay, fine. What the fuck? What the actual fuck?
Tarantino
Seriously.
is more rated R than this fucking movie. Like,
Exactly.
some of Tarantino's
like,
most
far.
tame work. Some of Tarantino's most tame work is more R-rated and more gory than a fucking Mortal Kombat movie.
Dude, the MCU is more gory than the Mortal Kombat film. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, apart from that one fatality by Kung Lao, that was awesome. The rest is like, you have the fatalities, but otherwise, like, it doesn't, the characters don't get any dust. Like, it's CGI hellfest. Also, they said something about, like, people have to unlock their inner arcana. What? You have so much story in the Mortal Kombat lore, and you're making up your own fucking bullshit. That makes zero sense. It's super unnecessary that you're wasting time with. I don't know. Why can't just Liu Kang have his powers? Why can't just Kano have a fucking robotic eye shooting lasers? You cut the time down, you're gonna have interesting stuff.
And
One
you'd
last
have
thing.
better fight scenes, and overall just
Yeah.
better fucking Mortal Kombat. But anyways.
Exactly. And one last note. This is about, or like two notes. This is about Mortal Kombat. A tournament is being set up to protect the realms, and this is a fair way to invade them, essentially. Kind of weird, but that's the rules of Mortal Kombat. What does fucking Shang Tsung do in this movie? He's like, how do you think we won? By obeying the rules? What? That's the thing about Mortal Kombat. They obey the rules. No matter how big scumbags they are, at the end when they lose, yes, that's when they invade. But, you know, that's like a whole story thereafter. But you're leading up to the Mortal Kombat film. They have the 9 wins. They're about to win their 10th. You don't say they're not obeying the rules. That's the point of Mortal Kombat. What the actual fuck? One last note, Goro, the guy who won 9 straight Mortal Kombat tournaments, gets fucking killed. Not beat. Not like that someone escapes him. Not someone that barely manages to survive. They kill Goro. Someone who's a retired or like a washed up MMA fighter. A washed up MMA fighter manages to kill Goro. How stupid is that?
I don't know. That's like killing Baki's father and Baki. That's the best way I could put it.
Yeah. Like,
The best of the best. Done. Out.
imagine a one-on-one fight where fucking, I don't know, Hawkeye kills Thanos, which is like way more possible than some retired or washed up MMA fighter killing Goro. But imagine one-on-one Hawkeye killing Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, no.
This movie is like a literal 0 out of 10. I watched it actually the second time. It was way worse than I remember it. Get a new director. Lock this guy up somewhere. Hide the keys.
Put him in fucking
Save
Azkaban.
the franchise. Yes, put him in fucking... That's too lenient, man. Like, I know it's still Warner Brothers, but... Oh my fucking god. This guy, what did they do? I have no idea who... Like, I imagine these guys sitting at a table like, yeah, that's a good idea. In the Arcana, yeah, let's kill Goro. Amazing.
This is what I call...
Amazing.
This is what I call George Lucasing it. Like, everyone was just so happy to say yes to all the ideas, they didn't realize how fucking bad the ideas were. To the point where it dragged the movie down so bad and destroyed it. Same thing that happened with The Phantom Menace. Everyone was just saying
What?
yes.
You comparing Phantom
No.
Menace to this?
No. I'm not comparing this to The Phantom Menace. I'm saying
Phantom Menace
the
CGI
yes man
is way better than Mortal Kombat
I'm
CGI.
I'm saying it more as everyone saying yes to George Lucas and his ideas and no one critiquing him. That's probably what fucking happened in this movie.
Oh my fucking god. I won't be able to sleep. This is the worst movie, not only of 2021, arguably of all time. It's terrible. If you
I
haven't
wouldn't
watched
say
it,
of all time.
don't watch it. Like, if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, I mean, yeah, there's like parts you could enjoy, but like still, if you understand Mortal Kombat, you know how terrible this movie was. Just don't watch it. Reboot the franchise, please. Or if you are gonna keep these actors, because some of them were good, I don't know, just make it better. Really get a different director. I beg you, please. Better writers, better directors. I don't know, someone who like understands what you have to do with martial arts. Not someone's like, oh, close up shaky cam.
I could
Bourne's
most
the
likely
peak
do
of
a fucking
cinema.
better job than that.
100%. Anyone could.
Yeah.
God damn it. What's your number one? We know what your number one is. We know it. It's a terrible movie. And I agree with it. Probably I liked it a bit more than you, I guess, but it's a fucking terrible movie. I hated it so much. And let me guess, Spiral from the Book of Saw.
I'm not that big of a fan of Saw, but I am a lover of horror. This movie, as a horror movie, is a cardinal sin. It is disastrous. It is cringy. It takes one of the, I'm sorry, no offense to James Wan, one of the easiest franchises to recreate and continue, and somehow fucking shits on it, pukes on it, throws it into a donkey's asshole, and then sprays it across every single horror fan. How? How the fuck do you fuck up such a simple concept?
It's true that like if you take your time, Saw is a pretty easy concept to follow, and probably even like if you take the time to like actually figure out a compelling story, even like if you have a continuation.
It would make more sense for him to come alive as a fucking robot than what they did with this movie.
I hope they do that, because like they run out of villains, man.
It would make more sense if honestly, he just came back as a ghost and was haunting the people who he believed to be sinners. At this point, I would much fucking rather that they just killed the franchise, because they should have just killed it with, what was it, the Saw movie that came before that. I don't remember as much, but
Jigsaw.
Jigsaw. I'm pretty fucking sure it wasn't that bad. Like, the only redeemable thing...
Jigsaw like kind of more like disappoints you, because it like gives you a sense of hope that something's happening, but then it turns out like, of course it didn't happen. It's this way. But it's like generally Jigsaw is a pretty good movie. Like it's not terrible. I enjoyed Jigsaw, and I wouldn't mind if they just continued with the guy from Jigsaw. It would be way better than Spiral, because that's just terrible. All
The
aspects
only
of, like,
redeemable thing about the movie, I'd say, is the gore. That is it. The only redeemable thing is the gore.
something that I didn't mention, that like what makes Saw interesting. You always you're like on the edge of your seat wondering if someone will make it out of a trap or not make it out of a trap. What does this movie do? They show you a dead body in the trap and then flash back and try to make a tense moment if the person will make it out of it or no. How fucking stupid is that?
No, they
How
did that.
stupid.
They did that. Kind
I
of
know.
in the original movies, but at least they showed you how it was, and then they kind of
No, but-
showed like a fast-forwarded, re-edited version
Exactly.
of it post-mortem.
Not something
They
that's like
didn't
makes you
just-
tense.
Yeah, no, like it doesn't make you tense. It just kind of gives you like that eek moment of like the trap.
Yeah, it shows you the trap, it shows you that the person's struggling, and then it shows you the kill.
exactly.
This one was like trying to be like, oh, will the person make it out or not? We know. He's dead.
He's
You
fucking
showed us.
dead. Like he's not gonna get out anytime soon. He's not gonna fucking survive. And like at the end of the day, it's not gonna work. The traps also were just fucking laughable. So laughable. Like I couldn't stand
I will
it.
say that
I
I will say that the Metro tongue one, the first one, was pretty solid. I didn't mind that one. But the rest was like straight up terrible. Plus, like, it was the least twistiest twist of all time. Oh, it's this guy.
Fucking shit.
Exactly. I mean, yeah.
Oh my god, I would have had a better, like, it would have been a better twist if it was fucking, what's his name? Chris Rock.
Yeah,
As
that
the
would be a
villain.
good twist.
That
Or
would have been
Samuel L.
actually,
Jackson.
or Sam, exactly, like, that would have been a so much fucking better twist, but for some
Because
reason,
you're anticipating it's this guy. Like, if they actually, like, subvert your expectation this way, like, oh, this guy's actually dead. It's someone else. That would be a okay twist. Like, it still wouldn't be a good movie, because, like, still the Saw aspects wouldn't be. I mean, it depends, because, like, Saw is essentially made by its final reveal. For me, personally. That's what I love about the Saw
exactly,
movies.
like, as ridiculous as
pre-planned
it
everything.
gets, as ridiculous as it gets, there is so much planning that goes into it, and there are
Yes.
actually good twists in the movie. The
Exactly.
gore is beautiful, and the traps are just jittering, like they hit you in the soul. That's what Saw is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a good story. It's not supposed to be a horror masterpiece. It's just supposed to be gorific fun with a nice twist. That's what Saw is supposed to be. This is just a shat-on reincarnation of a franchise that should have just died the last movie.
I don't mind they doing another one, but like not a continuation of Spiral. Spiral is just like it's dead.
It's dead. And I'm done with talking about Spiral because I do not want to piss myself off even further.
Dude, I think we pissed ourselves off a lot, but it was a fun. This was like this
You more than me.
episode
You definitely
Exactly.
more than me.
I feel, man, like I have to get a nice relaxation right now, and you know, how about a good time to make, you know, the best movies of 2021.
Yes, yes, which will
In
be
the next
part
episode.
2 of this one. Coming up, we got our top 5 best as a nice way to cool off and reminisce the better days of 2021. But
There was a lot of good movies. I have like so many like movies that I just want to like mention. It was a good year for movies. I'm excited to talk about that list.
so am I, honestly. I really am too. Like, I have a lot of good stuff. It was a pretty damn good year for movies. And it was pretty hard, especially for my top 2, to decide which one I wanted to put in. But I finally came to a conclusion on that. Well, that marks the end of this shitty part of 2021. And now to the better part of 2021. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully we'll have the next episode out, even probably by this week or next week. But yeah, no, look forward to it. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, just so then you're up to date for our next couple videos. And Yurka, you have anything else left to say?
Peace.
Peace.
Come on, you're supposed to switch it up. Peace.
See ya.
There we go.